You just moved back home with your parents, maybe in your 20s, in your late 30s, in your 30s, and you have no idea what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to work on in order for you to move out. Yes, I know, I have been there. A lot of times we have to move back home either to save money, work on debt, work on our lives. Life just be lifing, and you find yourself moving back home with your parents. Yeah, and now you're like, what am I supposed to do? Well, I have some tips for you in order for you to really take advantage of this time in your life, elevate yourself, and become the best version of you and move out, but be better than when you moved in. First thing that you need to do while you're living at home is face your finances. I know that's probably one of the reasons why you even ended up moving back home, but this is the thing, you have to face your finances in order for you to really make better financial goals, better financial decisions, so we can start moving out. First things first, look at your bank account, all the debits that come out of your account, all the subscriptions, all the bills. You need to evaluate where your money goes as money is coming in, okay? You need to make a decision on what is important and what is not, what subscriptions you need to cancel, what expenses you need to cancel or dwindle, or even start being a lot more frugal than you were before, and really evaluate why you are where you are financially, because a lot of times we move back home because financially we just didn't know what we were doing, or we got hit with a lot of debt, or we just did not evaluate and structure our life properly, especially financially. Look at your credit card debt, look at your student loan debt. I would recommend that you write these things down. For your credit card debt, look at the minimum payments, look at what has the highest interest rate, and make a list. At the top of the list is all the credit cards and student loans that have the highest interest rate that you absolutely have to make a minimum or even more payments every single month. And all the way coming down, it's all the debt that has the least amount of interest rate, and pay that way from the highest to the lowest in order to combat your financial debt. Also, learn how to properly use credit cards. I recently just learned this online on TikTok, how you're supposed to pay credit cards, what date, and it really helped me just eliminate any kind of credit card debt and use my credit cards effectively, where I can increase my credit score, because all in all, you have to maintain your credit score or even raise your credit score. So when you are prepared to move out, you are prepared financially. Leads me into tip number 2, work on your credit. Listen, it's better to be broke, but at least you have good credit. Credit is currency. I didn't really understand credit when I was in my early 20s, but towards my late 20s, I'm starting to realize that no matter what I do, no matter where I go, everybody wants to know your credit. Everybody wants to know what is your credit score, how high is your credit score, where's your debt to income ratio. That pretty much determines what you can buy, what you can get, what loans you can get. If you want to buy a house, buy a car, buy property, anything of that nature, you need to work on your credit. I would recommend you go on annualcreditreport.com. You can get a free credit report on this website. I'm pretty sure it's a government website, and once you get your free credit report, you can evaluate the things that you need to delete off of your credit, the things that you need to work on your credit, and the things that you need to call each one of the credit bureaus and dismiss them or delete them, or evaluate that they actually are correct and that debt belongs to you. You need to directly contact Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion to dispute any kind of misinformation or any kind of debt or anything that you see that does not belong or should not belong on your credit report. In order to increase your credit score, you need to pay down your credit cards at least 7 to 10% credit card utilization. This was my biggest problem. I did not understand credit card utilization and how big of an impact that is on my credit report. So the first thing that I did is I started paying down my credit cards each and every month, or whenever I would get any kind of extra money, I would pay down my credit card. Let me tell you, your credit score will shoot up expeditiously. As of charge-offs, call those companies or call any of the collections that's on your credit report and ask either for a settlement, or you can decide to pay fully what you owe. Once you call the collections and you can come to an agreement of what amount you can pay, then always make sure and have them give you proof either through mail or email that they will delete it off of your credit report, okay? And a lot of times the collections, you can settle for 30 to 40% of your debt. It depends. Negotiate, 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 okay? Having a really good credit score will give you so many options and open so many doors for you when you are prepared to move out. So make sure that is top priority. The third tip that you need to work on while you're living at home is travel. I know. Yes, I said travel. You're not paying any major bills, and if you're fortunate enough that your parents are letting you live there for little to no money, that means you have a little bit more wiggle room and you need to travel. Traveling will help you learn so much about yourself, help you see the world, and really take advantage of this opportunity, considering now you don't have to worry about maybe rent, major bills, and you can come home anytime you want. But definitely travel. Traveling not only helps you see the world, but it also piques your interest. It also really starts cooking up any kind of interest that you may have, any hobbies, and it really helps you kind of navigate what you want to do for the rest of your life, what you want to do next, what career that you want to embark on, because you get to see everybody else in the world, how they're living. You get to really open up your mind and let yourself imagine. You essentially get to grow more than ever without really worrying about where you're gonna put your head when you go home or where to live. So definitely take that opportunity while you're living at home to travel anywhere and everywhere that you can. The fourth tip that you need to work on while you're living at home is improving yourself, your mental health, and healing. Working on self-improvement will not only help elevate yourself from inside out, but it will really help you become a different person than you did when you were moving back home with your parents. This is the time to reflect on your life, your experiences, your past traumas, and really start working on all the things that you just did not have the time to do, you did not have the finance to do, or you just didn't have the space and room in your life to do. Start therapy, read some self-help books. This is the time to really start pouring into yourself. Self-improvement is such a simple but also most effective way to really become different. Also, this is the time that you get to figure out if you want to go back to school, if you want to change careers, if you want to embark on that business that you always dreamed of. Try to make one of your hobbies a paying career. If you want to explore other passions, or even pour more time into some passion projects that you started out before. Especially if at home is a really healthy environment, this is the time for you to heal your inner child and really grow and become a better version of yourself than the person that you were when you moved back in with your parents. Number 5, start working on your dreams and your goals. Just because you've moved back home does not mean this is the time for you to waste. Time waits for nobody. Just because you've moved back into your teenage room does not mean you will become a recluse and do nothing and just soak because you're sad, you're depressed, because you've had to move back home. No. Think of this as an opportunity to literally propel into the best version of yourself. This is the time to be strategic. Work on yourself and come out even better than you did before. Take this time to feel, but do not forget about the work that you need to do. Living at home should be a time to really catapult into the best version of yourself like you have never had before. It is not a death sentence. You should not be embarrassed that you've had to move back home. The economy is different. The job market is completely changing, so you should not feel bad or be down on yourself, because this is a time that you can really appreciate and you will look back on and say, wow, it was really a blessing for me to be able to move back home, have a roof over my head, and truly work on yourself. As adults, we go through ebbs and flows in life, ups and downs, but it is up to you to really change your mindset no matter where you are in your life or what season it is. Do not compare yourself to everybody else, because you just don't know how other people are living behind closed doors, even though from the outside they look like they're living the dream. Okay, so those are my 5 tips that you need to work on while you're living at home or while you've moved back home in your late 20s, 30s, or whatever age it may be. This is a gift. Take advantage of it, okay? So per usual, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.